And we are back for the final week of Dana White's Contender Series here in 2025. And for the final week of the Contender Series, we have 6 fights after an all-time Week 9. We have 6 fights to conclude this year's Contender Series. And we've got some good fights. So we've got the return of Freddie Vidal, the varsity football coach, is back. Yes, Freddie Vidal is fighting in the main event. We get Wes Schultz's return. We've got some really good talent. Michael Olivera on this card. Maruan, Freaky Rahiki. There's some good prospects on this card. Quan on this card too. There's some good fighters, folks. Before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MMA content here on the channel. Tomorrow, we're going to have our PFL Africa predictions probably after the Contender Series concludes. All of my PFL Africa predictions. Yesterday, we posted our UFC Fight Night Vancouver full card predictions with Rainer DeRitter and Brendan All-In Allen in the main event. Main channel Greedo plays daily MLB best bets. We did a 4.5-hour college football video just yesterday as well, predicting every single Week 8 college football game. So go make sure to check that out over there on Greedo Plays as we get on now to the first of 6 fights this week on Dana White's Contender Series, starting things off in the middleweight division as we have got the Italian Mario Minjaj taking on Wes Party Time Schultz. It is Schultz's second opportunity on the Contender Series. His first attempt was obviously unsuccessful as he ran into Mansour Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik ended up finishing the fight by second round TKO. Since then, Schultz has gone to MFL promotion Big Bang in South Bend, Indiana. I didn't know they did fights over there. And Wes Schultz won against Dustin Pape, a 7-4 fighter, by guillotine choke. He's taken on Mario Minjaj, an Italian fighter who's fought primarily in Cage Warriors and Venator. I'll tell you right now about Mario Minjaj. His entire thing is that he's got a good triangle choke. Okay, to the point where on the feet, he just throws kicks for the most part. He throws kicks to get into range. He's a tall middleweight. He's 6'4". He's fought a lot of light heavyweight in the past. So his last fight was at light heavyweight, but he weighed in at 190. I think it was a super middleweight fight, I think. Anyways, it was a 195, I believe, allowance. He weighed in at 190. Won the fight by triangle choke. Again, his entire fight style is dependent on getting that triangle. And it's dependent on getting fights to the ground. And the problem and the thing that everyone does against Mario Minjaj for the most part, they take him down. And, they're willing to usually fight in that guard. Again, if Minjaj's opponent doesn't take him down, he just pulls guard for the most part. Because he is so long, he's able to wrap his legs around you. And it's fighting, I guess, right? And he, pulls guard and tries to throw his legs around you for a triangle choke. Mixed martial arts. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just his fight style. And again, the thing that people keep doing as Minjaj is you keep taking him down because he's going to tie up with you in the clinch. He's going to, again, use his kicks to try to get in close, and then he's going to try to get overhooks, and he's going to try to just, clinch fight essentially for, as long as he can until either his opponent gets tired of him and tries to take him down, or he can just, again, stay with his underhooks or overhooks or whatnot, whatever he has, and then he'll just, wrap his legs around you and try to take you down or try to get you to take him down. It's, I don't know. See, the thing is, Wes Schultz is a wrestler, though. That's what he does. I watched Wes Schultz fight a guy who isn't entirely like Mario Minjaj because they don't fight the same, but he fought a guy named Alan Benson, who, I kid you not, is a 6'7" middleweight. I'm not like that. That's real. I don't know how you can be 6 inches, 7 feet tall and be 185 pounds. I mean, I don't know. Maybe ask Kevin Durant. I don't know. But I don't understand how that guy made 185. And, Wes Schultz goes in there and takes him down and eventually TKOs him, beats the crap out of this dude. So that's a little bit of a comp, again, Wes Schultz fighting bigger guys. But that's Schultz's entire game, is takedowns and wrestling. To the point where he's not that great of a striker. Neither is Minjaj. And I don't even know what we'd get in a striking fight. And considering, Contender Series, guys fighting for a contract, you want to impress Dana White the most, you're probably going to look to do what you're best at. And Schultz, again, is a primary wrestler, taking on a primary jiu-jitsu guy in Minjaj, who legitimately just throws up triangle chokes. You don't believe me? Look at his last 3 fights. They all end the same. All triangle chokes. And in one of the fights, he pulls guard. The other ones, he gets taken down. But I just, don't take him down is the thing. But the problem is that's all Wes Schultz does. Now, if Minjaj somehow makes the UFC and wins this fight and does triangle choke Schultz, because I'll tell you this right now, that's the only way he's winning. That's the only way he'll beat Wes Schultz, is if he does get the triangle choke and Schultz takes him down, because I have no doubt in my mind that's what Schultz is going to do. Schultz is going to take him down, and it's going to be, how can Schultz avoid the triangle? I think Schultz is good enough, though. I think, again, he's got good enough top control. He's a legitimate, very good fighter, very good wrestler. Minjaj has been fighting these guys in Cage Warriors who are good, but I don't think on the level of Schultz. I don't believe. And I think Schultz should just be able to avoid that big triangle choke that Minjaj is going to throw up, because once you have that scouted, and once you know that's coming, and once you can get out of the way of that, Minjaj isn't that good. Again, just those kicks on the feet. He's just a jiu-jitsu guy. Schultz, I'm going to always take the top pressuring wrestler over just a pure jiu-jitsu guy who relies on a triangle choke. This might not be the fancy pick because I know Schultz is a favorite and a lot of people are on Minjaj. I don't see it. I'm going to take Wes Schultz. I'm taking Wes Schultz to win this one, and I think he probably wins by TKO because, again, once he's able to pass that guard, once he's able to get into side control, hell, even get in mount, what is Minjaj going to do? I'm going second round TKO for Wes Schultz. I think eventually he will get it on the ground. Again, to me, Minjaj is just too dependent on that triangle choke and too dependent on just, guys being stupid once they hit the mat. Wes Schultz is an actually, again, credentialed fighter, credentialed wrestler. Just don't be stupid, and you should beat this guy. I'm going Wes Schultz in his second opportunity on the Contender Series. He'll beat Mario Minjaj by second round TKO. On now to the heavyweight division, as we've got a fight I'm very split on. Azamat Nuf taking on Yoan Lea. You got Nuflayev, who's an Uzbekistani fighter fighting in the Uzbekistani or the Central Asian octagon, not the octagon with the K, the octagon with the C promotion. Nuflayev from Uzbekistan, 17-1-1, taking on the 23-year-old Serbian in Yoan Lea. Again, I'm very split on this fight because to me, it feels like a grappler versus a striker type fight. I mean, Nuflayev, I know can strike, kind of, but if you really go watch his film, a lot of it's just pure takedowns. It's body locks, it's throws. He's trying to get fights down, and then it's usually TKOs via that, right? Once he grounds his opponent. Nuflayev's only loss is to Slim Trabletsi back in 2022 in Aries, a fight that he got finished in the second round. But since then, Nuflayev's put together 5 consecutive wins over an octagon. Again, not the octagon, but an Uzbekistani octagon. Yoan Lea has yet to fight anybody. He's been fighting all of his fights in the Armada promotion over in Serbia. And he's fighting bums, kind of. I mean, the last guy I watched him fight was just there to take a beating. Yoan Lea, absolutely beating the hell out of this dude. Lea throws a pretty nice head kick that he just threw at the end of that fight against the, not very good heavyweight he fought. But he'll stand in there, and he's got good stuff, man. He throws hard. He throws pretty clean stuff. Again, how much does that matter, though, when you're taking on a primary wrestler and a primary grappler? Because that's ultimately what this fight comes down to. Like, again, I can break it down every sense of the world. Like, again, I like what Lea throws. Again, he throws a nice right head kick. He's 6'5", he's young, he's 23. And he's taking on a guy, though, who's just going to wrestle. For the most part. I mean, again, yeah, there is some striking out of Nuflayev, but what I mean by he's just going to wrestle. In this fight, he can't strike. Or at least he can't be, keen on striking the entire time. Because if he does, or if he is keen on striking the entire fight, he's going to lose. He's going to. Because Lea throws hard. The thing about Yoan Lea is he's very unproven, hasn't fought the best grapplers just yet and best pure wrestlers yet, so Nuflayev might have that advantage. But I don't know, man. Yoan Lea, 6'5", 23 years of age, taking on Nuflayev, who's 6'1", and 31, soon to be 32. I don't know, man. Again, if Leca's able to stop takedowns, he will win. Can he stop the takedowns, though, is the question. It's a close fight. It really is. Because I watched Nuflayev fight Fernando Batista in Octagon. Again, Batista, I don't think fighting's his only job. He's a 41-year-old heavyweight who didn't really look like he should be in there with Nuflayev. Nuflayev is, again, just continuously dragging the fight down, and then eventually he wins the fight. He gets into full mount and just starts beating the crap out of this dude. Full-on ground and pound attack, and Nuflayev gets the TKO victory. But can he do that to Yoan Lea is the question. Oh, man. Lea, again, record 10-2. Only losses come to Anton Vinnikov, who's now 18-5. And the other loss a long time ago in Serbian Battle Championship in his second pro fight. Public's on Nuflayev. 81% of Tapology voters going for him. 19% voting for Yoan Lea. Again, Nuflayev, the slight favorite. I think it's just the inexperience out of Lea, which is what I'm really hesitant on. And yeah, it is the experience at the same time from Nuflayev. I mean, it's hard to pick against a guy who's 17-1-1 with the only loss being to Slim Trabletsi. But I'm not too sold on his level of competition. I think they both fought against similar level guys, just watching the guys that they're fighting. I guess if anything, Nuf Lea has fought a tiny bit better guys, but I don't know, man. Leca's gonna throw. He hits hard. If he's just able to outpower Nuf Lea, he should win. But again, that's Nuf Lea's whole game. He's not a huge heavyweight. Weighed in at 235 for this fight. Yoan Lea weighed in at 260. And I know, again, Nuf Lea has made a career out of beating bigger guys and grounding guys. But, I mean, how much did Batista weigh in as? We don't have that number. I'm going Yoan Lea. I'm going to take another Tapology underdog here. I'm going to go Yoan Lea by first round knockout. Am I, though? Yeah, I am. I don't think Nuf Lea was able to just to bully him. I don't think so. No. I don't know on this fight, man. This is legitimately one of the tougher fights I've had to pick on the Contender Series all year long. Because Lea, again, hits hard. He's a very strong and big dude, but he hasn't fought anybody nowhere near Azamat Nuf yet. Nuf Lea, though, I think it's kind of a padded 17-7-1. Yeah, I'm going to go Yoan Lea. Going Yoan Lea first round knockout. What does Dana want to see? A knockout. Dana's, he's got the power of Dana White on his side. Not that that means much. I'm going Yoan Lea first round knockout. I don't love it though. I wouldn't bet on it. Do not bet on that fight. Next up, we go on to maybe the best prospect on this card, Michael Olivera. Michael Olivera, the speed in which this guy throws and the combos and the blitzes that this guy puts on, yeah, he's really good. He is. This, I will say it now. I'll give away the pick right now. Michael Olivera is going to knock out Victor Valenzuela in the very first round. Victor Valenzuela is a Chilean fighter training out of MMA Masters over there in Florida. Yeah, he gets hit way too much. So you can see by just watching Valenzuela's last fight against the 6-1 Bruce Whitehead, and I think it's kind of a low-level bout. But anyways, you get to a point, the fight lasts 90 seconds, and Valenzuela, he gets tagged right away in that fight, right? He's throwing, and as always when Valenzuela throws, he leaves himself wide open to be hit. Like, he drops his other hand when he throws, and boom, he gets cracked by Bruce Whitehead. Again, this is for the Fury Championship, I think, right? It's for the interim Fury Championship, but Bruce Whitehead immediately cracks this guy, and Valenzuela, he recovers, and eventually he lands a big shot on Whitehead, but both guys are kind of stunned. Valenzuela sees the end coming, so he blitzes Whitehead. He lands a big shot, and I kid you not, as Whitehead's back up against the fence like this, Victor Valenzuela, he blitzes, and his blitz is, I'm not joking, like, watch the fight. I don't know what he's doing. Like, I don't know, like, he tries to end the fight like he's close to him. Like, I'm so serious. If I'm here and Bruce Whitehead's right here, like, Valenzuela, and he's back up against the fence, Valenzuela goes, It's so weird. I don't know. I don't get it. If he does that against Michael Olivera, oh my goodness, he's getting shinned. But eventually, right, Valenzuela does get the finish. He grabs onto Whitehead and just hits him with the big knee and puts him out. Because again, like, one shot was going to finish Whitehead, but Valenzuela blitzes weirdly, and Whitehead actually does crack him before Whitehead eventually gets knocked out by Victor Valenzuela. Yeah, Michael Olivera, watch this guy fight. He's been fighting on the LFA prelims recently. He throws punches in bunches. He's been fighting on main cards more recently. However, again, he used to fight on undercards. Just watch how much this guy throws. Watch how much he blitzes in the first round. This is everything the UFC is looking for in a new fighter. This is why the Contender Series was made. He hits like an absolute truck, and he just looks to put you out. That's all he does. He looks to knock you out. And I compare how Michael Olivera fights in the first round to how Victor Valenzuela fights in the first round. It's night and day, man. It's not even close. Like, again, the power and the speed in which Olivera throws is insane. And I don't even, like, Victor Valenzuela, I don't know how he's even 12-3. I don't know how his record's, and really he had a DQ loss in there. He should be 13-2. I don't know how he even got there. I'll be honest with you. I don't get it. I don't know how he was signed rather than the actual Fury UFC champion, Sam Kilmer, who has lost his fair share of fights, but to Cody Steele and whatnot. Like, I don't know. Sam Kilner's coming off a win over Josh Quinlan, too. I don't know how Valenzuela got here. He's going to get chinned so quickly, man. Like, I was watching the fight Olivera. I think it was, oh, goodness, what fight was it? I think it was the Dallas Gama fight. And yeah, Gama's kind of being thrown out just to get beat up, obviously. But Olivera blitzes him in the first round, knocks him down twice in the first round, knocks him down again in the third round, and the eventually finishes the fight in the third round with a head kick. And the commentators are like, oh my goodness, I don't know how Gama survived. We've got a fight in our hands, but Gama, man, I mean, I don't even know how you stand up to this onslaught that Olivera puts on you, and just how much Olivera throws. And the thing is, he does that for 3 rounds. He slows down a little bit, but not by that much. It is crazy output the entire fight. And it's crazy output with heavy hands and great power. Yeah, I think Victor Valenzuela's in trouble. I believe he is. I'm going Michael Olivera to beat Victor Valenzuela. I believe he'll get it done by a first round knockout. I don't think it's much of a fight. This is again the best talent you have on this card. Or maybe it's this guy in Maruan Rahiki. Yep, that's his nickname. Yep. All right. Freaky Rahiki takes on Annias Malumba. So it's Rahiki versus Malumba here. I've been watching what Maruan Rahiki does. Watch his last fight against Gabriel Schultz. Guy's not like a bum. It's a guy who's fought in Eternal before. It's in beatdown promotions. And again, it's gonna sound corny. It's in beatdown promotions. That's one of the biggest beatdowns I've ever seen. Watch Maruan Rahiki fight this guy who's not a scrub in Gabriel Schultz. Holy crap. Schultz was, small for the weight class. He's 5'4" still. And Rahiki's 5'10". I don't really think he's 5'4". He looked like he's more like 5'7", but it's okay. Rahiki puts it on this guy, man. I mean, there's nowhere to hide. It's constant. And it's, okay, you shoot for a takedown? No, I'm throwing you right after. Like, I mean, get underhooks, boom, you're back on your back. I mean, it's just, ooh, man, Rahiki is the total package. He throws a lot. You can tell, again, when you watch a fighter, you can get a sense pretty quickly of if you think he's legit or not, and if he, like, this is going to sound corny, but if he passes the eye test, you can tell pretty quickly, and you can tell with Maruan Rahiki. You can, all around good striking, grappling's there too. He knows what he's doing. He looks, again, fundamentally sound on the mat. This is a good fighter. It is. For Annias Malumba from the Democratic Republic of Congo, coming off a victory over Amir El Shashnari. And now I didn't know Amir's record going into that fight, so I looked it up after, and I realized this guy is 10-11 and started his career at one point in time 8-3. So he just kept on losing fights, and UAE Warriors gave him a shot, and Malumba dominates. I see Amir El, whatever the hell his name is. There's no disrespect, I just don't know his name. Don't know how to pronounce his name. He takes down Malumba, looks for a single leg. Malumba easily fights that off. Eventually, he takes the back off of that, gets the rear naked choke, and it's easy. Again, yeah, Malumba's look good, but he's not going to have a strength advantage. He's not going to be the more physical fighter between him and Rahiki. Rahiki should be able to throw him. Rahiki should be able to see a great advantage striking-wise. Ultimately, it is an uphill climb. It is a huge uphill climb for Annias Malumba. How does he win? He has to get the takedown. He has to take his back, essentially. But I've seen Rahiki's takedown defense. It's really good. Striking-wise, he's, again, very fundamentally sound everywhere. It's just a very good fighter, man. It's a very good fighter on the Contender series. I think Malumba's striking is not great. Again, he's going to be much shorter than Rahiki. Again, they say he's 5'9". I don't think he's 5'9". I think he's shorter than 5'9". We'll see. I think maybe it's just Rahiki's taller than 5'10". I don't know. But I think Rahiki's going to catch him with a head kick. Because he throws a lot of head kicks. Again, a lot of just straight shots. I think he's going to catch him with something, though, over the top. I think it's going to be a head kick knockout for Maruan Rahiki. He just throws a lot of output. And what Malumba's going to want to do, Rahiki fights off so well. And I've seen it, right? I mean, again, it's as simple as going back and watching that last fight that he had in July. You can see the takedown defense. I mean, this guy's fought 3 times already in 2025. Fought once in March, once in May, and once in July. He is the Hex featherweight champion. He's the Beatdowns promotion featherweight champion, obviously now coming over to the UFC. dude hits like a truck. And stylistically, it's a very favorable matchup for him against a pure grappler. I wouldn't call Malumba a pure grappler, but a guy who wants to grapple, and that's, again, his primary way of winning fights is through grappling and wrestling. Yeah, I'm going to go with the big favorite here from New Zealand or Australia. Maruan at Freaky Rahiki. Again, him and Michael Olivera are by far the two best talents on this entire thing, I believe, right? Olivera is very win now in the UFC, in my opinion. He's 27, but just wait. I mean, like, he's going to quickly rise the ranks at 170 pounds, as long as he doesn't get chinned. But Maruan Rahiki is a prospect to watch, only 23 years of age. Again, total package. I don't think Malumba's got anything for him. If Malumba can't get a takedown, he's a sitting duck on the feet, and eventually Maruan Rahiki is going to get that knockout. I'm going to go late first round knockout for Maruan Rahiki over Annias Malumba. On now to our penultimate fight of the season, we go to the bantamweight division as Juan Diaz fights Quan Juan Il. Quan Juan Il, the former ranked fighter in one championship. He's coming off a one championship loss over their 1FC championship loss, where he lost to Fabricio de Andrade by first round TKO, got fooled with the body shot. Same Fabricio de Andrade that I believe. Did he take the belt from John Lineker? I know he's beaten John Lineker. He did take the belt from John Lineker. Okay, yes. It was de Andrade's first fight in 2 years, and he folds Quan Juan Il with a body shot in the second round. Okay. Quan Juan Il fought a bunch in one championship. Is every fight that he's had in one championship? Almost. He's 9-5-1, 14-5 as a pro. Again, his losses are 2 to Fabricio de Andrade, 1 rear naked choke loss back in 2020, and then a couple other submission losses early in his 1 days. Hold on to that piece of information again. Grappling, Quan Juan Il's got good striking. He's got good hands. He's looking to knock you out. That's what I can say, right? If you're Quan Juan Il, you're hoping this fight stays on the feet. That is where he is best. However, Juan Diaz is an evolving fighter. I've watched his last couple Lux fights. They're both 5 rounds. The last 2 fights that he's had, actually the last 3 fights I believe he's had, but the last 2 that I watched against Jose Rura and Uriel Casio, Juan Diaz is a very put together fighter. Now, he doesn't have the best finishing potential, and that's why, and I don't understand why on Tapology 56% of the people picking Juan Diaz are picking him to win by knockout, because I don't see it. This is a guy who's a primary grappler who, again, the Lux commentators are very complimentary, I guess is the right word. They're very keen on saying, Juan Diaz, again, really good. We know how good the grappling is. We know how good the wrestling is, but he's got an evolving striking game. And they make my point that I make all the time. Your grappling makes your striking better because your opponent's always concerned about that. But this is a guy in Juan Diaz who, again, has an evolving striking game. We've seen that. Watch the 2 Uriel Casio fights. The Jose Rura fights. The guy fights twice. Takes the belt from Jose Rura. And I don't know why they had him fight him again, because the first fight was pretty decisive and it was pretty clear at the end of the bout, like, who won the belt. Diaz is the challenger in the first Rura fight. Rura's the champ. And Diaz dominates the 5-round decision, and somehow they made the fight again in 2024. And instead of going the distance, Jose Diaz wins it by 4th round TKO. Again, it's an accumulation of damage. And he's putting it on Rura. I just don't see the one-shot power. And especially against Quan Juan Il, I don't think Juan Diaz is going to be striking. I think he's going to go back to that grappling heavy base, which we see a couple times in the Jose Rura fights, but it's primarily striking fights. Yeah, I think he's going to grapple Quan Juan Il, because why wouldn't he? If he strikes with Quan Juan Il, I think Quan Juan Il is going to knock him out. Now, again, you can look at just his record, Quan Juan Il's record, and say, oh, he's lost by TKO. He lost to the champion over there in one championship. Again, Quan Juan Il has been up and down the rankings. But the fight I want to look at is the win that he has over, Artem Belak. This is a Tiger Muay Thai guy he's fighting in, Martin Belak, who trains again in Phuket, Thailand. He's a Kazakhstani fighter who is a grappler first, but very early in that fight against Quan Juan Il, they're in the boxing ring back in June of 2023. Belak takes Quan Juan Il's back and body triangles him like a minute into the fight. And the commentators are going, oh, that's the weakness that Quan Juan Il did not want to be showcased in this fight. Belak is in a great position. Obviously, Belak doesn't finish the fight, and eventually Quan Juan Il gets the finish in the second round because, again, his striking is really good. But that's the pathway to victory if you're Juan Diaz. It's the grappling. I don't think Quan Juan Il is a very advanced grappler at all. He's a primarily striker who, again, if he goes into the UFC, if he wins a contract, which if he wins, he's going to get a contract, he's going to get exposed so quickly on the mat, man. He will. He'll get exposed very quickly. I think Juan Diaz is going to do it right now. I think he's going to. Now, again, I don't really see the finishing potential out of Juan Diaz. I've watched him fight. Not a guy who's going to over-pursue anything. Again, it's just he will try to beat you on the feet through a prolonged beating, and same on the ground, too. I just don't think he's going to... I don't think he's going to get a finish over Quan 1-0. I don't think so. And again, everyone picking Juan Diaz to win by knockout, that's just not really what he does. He doesn't have the heaviest hands. He's going to try to pepper you with shots. And again, eventually, over a 5-round fight, which the only environment in all fairness I've seen him in, eventually, yeah, that beating's going... You're going to succumb to that beating eventually. But we'll see. Juan Diaz has not been in a 3-round environment in quite a bit because he's been fighting a lot of 5-round fights. Had a random catchweight fight in the middle of his title run in Lux, but I think he's better than Quan 1-0. He's just a better all-around fighter. Striking-wise, yeah, I think Quan 1-0 is better, but I've seen Quan 1-0 get taken, get his back taken, get submitted. Again, we saw Balak almost submit him. He's been subbed by Shoko Sato in one championship. Masaku Iminati. Like, guys are able to take this dude down and submit him. He got submitted by... Iminati, wasn't he like 45 when that fight happened too? Yeah, I'm going to go with the underdog here, actually. I'm going to go Juan Diaz to win the fight by decision over Quan 1-0. On to the final fight of the Contender Series here in 2026, and it is in the light heavyweight division. Freddy Vidal takes on Levy Rodriguez. Yes, the football coach is back. Freddy Vidal returns for his second fight of the Contender Series in 2025. You know, in 2023, we had Bo Nickel, who fought once in the Contender, and Dana said, you know, I need to see you one more time so we can bump our ratings a little bit. Put Bo Nickel in the main event of the final Contender Series card in 2023. That's what we have out of Freddy Vidal, you know? Yeah, all right. Freddy Vidal's the next Bo Nickel. I don't think so. Freddy Vidal's first fight in the Contender this year, he fights Felipe Franco. Now, he misses weight. He weighs in at 210 for a fight at 205 pounds. So Dana says, all right, come back, make weight again, and we'll get you a contract. He did make weight. We've already got the weigh-ins, obviously, from today. He weighed in at 204 and 1/2 pounds against Levy Rodriguez, so he did it. Now, Freddy Vidal was a huge underdog in his first fight in the Contender this year against Felipe Franco. Franco, I remember we said this at the time, huge can crusher, had not been a single fighter, but I thought he had potential. Nope. Felipe Franco loses to Freddy Vidal. Freddy Vidal, kind of a sloppy wrestler, but will look for takedowns and will look to try to break you once he gets the fight down. Again, the manner in which he gets takedowns is not the best, but he found a way against Felipe Franco, so I have to give him credit. Levy Rodriguez, 5-0 professional, coming off a win in LFA where he knocks Alan Ribeiro out cold. Rodriguez gets a takedown in that fight, kind of. Well, it is a takedown. Alan Ribeiro throws a head kick, and Rodriguez just catches it over his shoulder, essentially, and simply put, just walks forward and gets Alan Ribeiro down to the mat. Eventually, Ribeiro scrambles back up, and then Rodriguez catches him as kind of Ribeiro's trying to get away. Kind of, not entirely, but overing Miocic-esque a little bit. Miocic-Verdum-esque. Kind of, not really. Rodriguez kind of catches Ribeiro, kind of like fading away with a left hook, puts him down, knocks him out. Okay, cool. He's got a lot of power. He hits hard and he throws quick. Like, again, not entirely like Michael Olivera earlier, but he's going to throw some big shots, man. He's going to try to put you out, knock you out. His overall resume is not the best. 2 victories in LFA against unknown guys. 3 victories in LFA against unknown guys. But, I mean, you look at Freddy Vidal's past, and it's like, all right, he's beaten a 2-4 guy, 0-0 fighter. And sure, he won his 4th ever career fight, professional MMA fight against Felipe Franco, but we always said Felipe Franco was kind of a bum. Not a bum, he was a can crusher. And that fight was not the most impressive until Vidal got the submission in the 3rd round with 12 seconds to go. Again, Franco just kind of, got worn out in that fight, was just gassed at the end of it, and Vidal took advantage. I gotta go Levy Rodriguez. I want to see the football coach Freddy Vidal get a contract. I think it would be hilarious. I think he's getting chinned in the 1st round, though, guys. I think he's going to. And on Typology, I don't know why 67% of people are going with Sarah Longo MMA's own, and Freddy Vidal. Levy Rodriguez has some skill behind him. He's got big shots, man. You can tell. Now, grappling-wise, maybe, again, that's where Vidal can win. But my thing with Vidal is he's just very sloppy when he gets those takedowns. It's not, again, he's not the most technically sound when he goes for those. And I think, again, a strong guy like Levy Rodriguez should be able to fight those off and should be able to keep the fight standing. Again, I've seen Levy Rodriguez's grappling and wrestling in the past. There is something there, and I think he should be able to fight off Freddy Vidal, and ultimately, I believe Levy Rodriguez is going to win by 1st-round knockout. As before we wrap things up here in the Contender Series for 2025, let's go over who I think is going to win contracts. Dana's been very generous as of late, and sure, again, some of the losers have deserved contracts that he's given out recently, but let's rank them. Who gets the contract first? Number 1, Michael Olivera. That goes without saying. He's going to make Victor Valenzuela, he's going to put Victor Valenzuela out in the first minute, okay? First striking exchange, he's going to throw a combo, and bam, there goes Victor Valenzuela down and out on the mat. 2, obviously, Freaky Rahiki. That's a showcase bout over Malumba, in my opinion. It's going to be a big win for Freaky Rahiki. 3, I'm going to go with the winner of Nuflayev Leka. Guys, I think whoever comes out of that fight, again, I can definitely see Nuflayev winning. Whoever wins that fight is going to be a decent UFC heavyweight. I really think so. I think Nuflayev might be able to cut down to 205. But the winner of that fight is going to be big time, I think. Or at least just a good up-and-coming prospect. You're either going to get a really grapple-heavy guy in Nuflayev or Leka, a guy who's going to try to knock you out, who's got a good shit on him, too. I really like the winner of that fight, whoever it is. Next, I'm going to go with Rodriguez in the main event. I think he'll probably put Freddie Vidal out, I believe. And then next, I believe Wes Schultz. He's just not completely the style Dana loves. I think Schultz is probably up next. And then Juan Diaz, just because Juan Diaz, I think, is going to win by decision. And I think it might not be the most impressive victory, but I think he's got to, if you're Juan Diaz, you got to win by how you have to win here. And even if you don't get a contract, okay, the UFC goes, they do the Noche card, they go to Mexico enough. I know, again, he's Peruvian, I believe, but they look for talent like him. He trains in Mexico as well, in Baja California. They look for South American and Central American talent enough to the point where even if you don't win, you don't get your contract. If you win, you don't get your contract. He's going to get signed eventually anyway because they need talent from that area. So if he's just able to get a victory over a high-profile guy from one, I think he'll be in a good spot. But I think Juan Diaz is probably the least likely to get a contract just because of how I think that fight is going to play out. But regardless, though, I think they're going to do 5 contracts. I think Juan Diaz might get squeezed out. No, Dana's been generous. I'm going to go all 6. I think all 6 get contracts here for the final week of Season 9 of Dana White's Contender Series. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our Contender Series predictions all year long here in 2025. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Again, we will continue to do content here on Greedo Plays MMA, PFL Africa predictions tomorrow, weekly UFC predictions, and, of course, we'll be back next year for the Contender Series as well. But again, make sure to stay tuned to the channel. Again, more stuff coming. PFL, UFC, might have some additional content here on the channel as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Thank you guys for watching the Contender Series predictions all year long. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba forever.